Hey guys, and welcome to the Fish Room. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and today we're going to talk about what I think is one of the most important things that we can do to protect our fish and our aquariums, and that's quarantine. Now, I've talked to you guys about this a lot in the past, from quarantining fish that we know come from an imported source, from local breeders, from our local clubs, or from friends. No matter what the source is, the best thing that we can do for our existing tanks and our new fish is a nice solid quarantine. Now, how long you quarantine is up to you. Personally, I like to do a minimum of 1 month of health, especially for fish that are from an unknown source, especially if you order online and you haven't physically seen the fish before they come to you. I think this is of critical importance. Now, I've talked to you guys as well that I quarantine for 6 months of health for before I'll add anything to my 150-gallon hill stream. So today we're going to take a look at a quarantine tank I set up as I'm expecting some Coreodoros in the mail. Now, I'm a bit concerned because they're already 2 days late, but we'll have to see how it goes. I need to be prepared regardless. And these come from a breeder that I know personally, a guy whose fish I've seen for the past 10 years. So I'll probably do at least 2 weeks of quarantine. And the purpose of this particular quarantine isn't as much about the fish's health, but it's to allow them to recover from shipping, get some good meals in them, some easier water changes, and just be able to get to know the fish a little bit. Now, during quarantine, I like to do almost daily small volume water changes of 15 to 20%. I think that this dilution helps the fish fight off anything that they could have lying latent. I like to feed them pretty heavily in order to bolster their immunity as much as possible. And I like to really just take a good look. And for this reason, my quarantine tanks are basically bare, at least for that first week. I want to be able to see what they're eating, how they're eating, if they're pooping, what their poop looks like, and their overall body condition. I do tend to keep these aquariums completely bare bottom. And I like to be able to, especially with catfish, be able to look at the fish from underneath as well as through the front of the glass. And this allows me to see how round their bellies are, if there's any redness starting at the base of their pectoral fins, which can be symptomatic of an internal bacterial infection. And after they get through this initial phase of quarantine, I may add in a little bit of substrate and some plants. Often in my quarantine tanks in that first week, I'll have like a single piece of wood, something to give them a little bit of structure and security, but nothing that can let them absolutely hide. We need to be able to see the fish during this time. Now, I know a lot of people say they don't have space for a quarantine aquarium, and trust me, I understand. And I've told you guys in the past that it doesn't have to be an aquarium to do a quarantine. You can easily use things like a Sterilite container, a large, relatively clear plastic tote, so that you can be able to break it down when it's not in use, stack it up, put it inside your aquarium stand. All you really need is a way to keep the temperature stable, a way to filter it, and some light at least while you're checking on the fish each day. I know very well about the desire or the propensity for every quarantine aquarium to become a display aquarium. Trust me, my fish room didn't happen by accident. So the Coreodoros will eventually be going into my 55-gallon planted display that I set up with you guys about a week ago. And currently it houses a whole ton of the Impleichthes cari, or the purple emperor tetra, or the cari tetra, and they are looking amazing. And that tank is doing really well. I think that you guys can agree. I really lucked out that I didn't get any crypt melt. It does need a water change, and I need to scrub the glass a bit, but I'm excited that within a couple of weeks, my plants will have really taken root, and I'll be able to add my new fish to it as long as they arrive okay. Anyway, I just wanted to talk to you guys a bit about, again, the importance of quarantine. It's of critical importance that we protect not only our old fish, our existing fish in our displays, our plants, but also to protect our new fish from anything our old fish could potentially have. When you add fish that are stressed into a new environment, it can really raise the risks of them developing some sort of complication, no matter the source. So as a matter of course, it is always a good idea to quarantine. As always, I want to hear from you guys. What is your preferred length of quarantine? How do you escape the trap of your quarantine tanks becoming a display tank? And as always, please make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell on so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I had hoped to show you my new fish today, but we'll have to see when they get here.